everyone, I'm Emily, and thank you for joining us on Forbes Flash. If you haven't joined us before, stick around as we talk through the biggest business news of this past week. It's been a good week for Netflix CEO Reed Hastings. His net worth crossed $2 billion for the first time after Netflix shares hit an all-time high. It's not every week that your fortune jumps from $1.91 billion to $2.17 billion in less than 24 hours, so congrats, Reed. Switching gears to the corporate world, which companies had a good week and which didn't? IBM reported revenue miss and the 21st quarter of declines, but beat on earnings. Netflix crushed expectations for subscriber growth in Q2, adding 5.2 million new subscribers. And Qualcomm's net income is down 40% year over year, due in part to an ongoing legal battle with Apple. Now, onto 3 stories you need to know from this past week. Chipotle is still trying to recover from its nightmarish food safety scandal back in 2015. Well, bad news for burrito bowl lovers. The chain temporarily closed a restaurant in Virginia this week after 13 customers reported symptoms consistent with norovirus. Shares dropped in response to the news, but Chipotle is calling the outbreak an isolated incident. Next up, a new report reveals that R&B hip-hop is the most dominant music genre in the US for the first time ever. The combined genre pulled ahead of rock, which has topped the list from the very beginning. And, believe it or not, New York City is now considered one of the most undervalued housing markets of 2017. Yeah, I said undervalued. According to a new index, the New York metropolitan area is undervalued by as much as 10.4%. New York home prices may not inspire you, but this next story will. His startup landed Miguel Garza on our 2017 under 30 list, but the entrepreneur really beat the odds to get it off the ground. Fewer than 1% of startups funded by venture capitalists have a Latino founder. So, how did Garza get the grain-free tortilla maker Siete Family off the ground? By focusing on core values. Family first, family second, business third, he says. Read more of the full story by Maggie McGrath on Forbes.com. On to the latest news about President Trump. We have reporter Matt Drange here, who covers Trump's business for Forbes. Hi, Matt.
Hi.
Can you tell us a little bit about your story about the Trump Organization's latest hotel project?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are actually 2 new brands with Trump hotels. One is called American Idea, and the other one is Scion. The idea behind the brands is to be sort of a lower, kind of mid-market level hotel. So Trump Organization, is known for luxury 5-star boutique hotels. These are going to be a bit below that, and the idea for the hotels is to essentially partner with different hotel developers around the country, but primarily in states in the middle of the country. So these are a lot of states who voted Trump into the White House. So this first story looks at a new hotel in Cleveland, Mississippi, which is in the works right now and is under construction.
And this is a project with the Chawla brothers. Can you tell us a little bit about their connection to Trump?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Chawla brothers, Dinesh and Suresh Chawla, are American Indian immigrants, and they met Trump last summer at a campaign event, at an event to raise money. And they met through Mississippi's governor, who the Chawla brothers had donated to before and were politically connected to him through their own development projects in Mississippi. So he had heard about their hotel project and thought, hey, this might be a great thing, for potential partners. And so they met Donald Trump there at that event, and within a couple weeks had donated to Donald Trump's campaign and the Republican National Committee.
So there's political connections in this. There's financial connections as well, because Trump still owns his businesses. So does he stand to make money off of this partnership?
Yes, so President Trump still owns his businesses. He is not in the day-to-day control of it anymore. It's his sons, Eric and Donald Jr., but he absolutely stands to benefit financially. And this project, it's tough. We've talked to analysts to try to get estimates for exactly how much money we're talking about, and because this is such a new thing for them, this mid-market approach, we're not really sure. It's not going to be like a luxury brand where you have 5 boutique hotels like the new one in Washington D.C. that bring in a ton of revenue. These are much smaller projects, so we're not really sure how much money, but he certainly stands to benefit.
So There's also a tax incentive as well that you cover in your story. Can you explain a little bit about what's going on with that?
Absolutely. So with this first project in Mississippi, there is going to be a significant tax abatement, which is basically a tax break moving forward for about 7 years. We're not sure exactly how much it'll be. So when the Chawla brothers initially applied for this tax break, which was before, I should say, the Trump Organization got involved, this project was already in the works, and Trump Organization got involved sort of towards the end. When they initially applied for the tax break, I think they were looking at about a $2 million tax break. And so with that, there's a requirement that they bring jobs to the area. So I think it's 10 or more jobs. And then it's a significant long-term investment. I think it's more than $5 or $10 million. This particular hotel is going to be about a $21.5 million project.
So you published a story in connection with ProPublica, and this is going to be an ongoing story that we're moving forward as more and more of these hotels are built, correct?
Absolutely. So this is the first story. They're probably going to be, the Trump Organization has said up to 36 others. So this is just the first one that got announced. They actually signed the deal and within 10 minutes had announced it publicly, so they really wanted to get it out there. And we do expect, and we're hoping to identify future partners. They haven't said where else they're going, but we're looking for that.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you for joining us on Forbes Flash. Tweet your feedback to us using #ForbesFlash, and we'll see you next week. We'll be here every Friday morning, same time, same place.